तस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपाकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातम् अहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणिं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरं। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्ता स्वामी निति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you all for coming. So today's session, it's just to establish ourselves in the importance of seva. What is that seva? We should all do devotional sevas, right? It's very important. So reading Srila Prabhupada books is also a Krishna conscious activity or seva that we have to do. Why we have to read Srila Prabhupada books? Because Srila Prabhupada books gives us the essence, or the message in his books gives the essence, so that we can develop faith and perform our devotional activities. There's so much in Srila Prabhupada books, if you all, I think most of you have read Srila Prabhupada books, there is so much emphasis on chanting Hare Krishna mantra, okay, which is very important for our, in our sadhana. And there is so much emphasis on devotional service, so much emphasis on association. And his books, in fact, the best part of his books is his books actually show how Maya's mission is there to deflect away from Krishna consciousness. It clearly tells us how Maya works or puts us in illusion. Okay, it is very difficult. If you read Vedas, it is very difficult. Everything looks very flowery language and everything nice. So you cannot differentiate what is spirit and what is matter. I mean, if you have really have to be a very intelligent and scholarly person to actually distinguish. But in Srila Prabhupada books, if you see, very clearly he talks about how Maya's mission is there to take us away from Krishna consciousness. Once Srila Prabhupada said, only two things a person who is in Krishna consciousness should do. What is it? One should know how to act, and that faith with which he is there will take you through the process of Krishna consciousness. So these two things, his books give us how to act in Krishna consciousness, and also it strengthens our faith. So if you see, these Srila Prabhupada books are actually boon for us. Why? Because they present perfect solutions. Perfect solutions. Why? If one reads Srila Prabhupada books carefully, then that person can resolve all the problems of this material world. His circumstantial problems, his personal problems, even his karma. We always talk about my karma, their karma, and even that also we will understand how karma works. And more important, it is a boon because it will give us a map to go back home, back to Godhead. We are all lost souls. So Srila Prabhupada books gives us a map to go back home, back to Godhead. So how many of you feel that reading is very important?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
So much emphasis is given in our Shastra also about reading. Nectar of Devotion, chapter 12, there is a beautiful shloka which says, a person who is constantly engaged in reading literatures enunciating the cultivation of Vaishnava devotional service is always glorious in human society, and certainly Lord Krishna is pleased with him. And it says, a person who keeps such literatures at home and offer obeisances to it becomes freed from all sinful reactions and ultimately becomes worshipable by demigods. So much emphasis is given on reading Shastras. That is why Prabhupada, very painstakingly at that old age, has given us so many books to read. Don't think that these books are ordinary books. There are our gateways or the passes to go back home to Goloka. So here, Nectar of Devotion is telling a person who is engaged in reading Shastras. And these Shastras, what kind of Shastras? The Shastras which will help us to cultivate Vaishnava devotional service or devotional service to Krishna, Krishna conscious devotional activities. Such a person is very glorious in human society and Krishna is pleased with him. Not only that, see, even unknowingly also, somebody takes these kind of books and they put them in their homes and don't know how to read. Even offering obeisances, one becomes pure. He will be freed from all the sinful reactions. And ultimately, it is said, such a kind of persons who read Shastras, who offer obeisances, are worshipable by demigods. Such importance is given for Shastra reading. Even in Chaitanya Charitamrita, please understand, Prabhupada is we are in ISKCON. What is ISKCON? It's a preaching missionary, right? We have a mission to preach Lord Chaitanya's Nam Sankirtan movement. So, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, please write Adi Leela, chapter 2, 117. There's a shloka which says, Siddhanta baliye chitta na kare alasa, iha haite Krishna lage shrudruda manasa. Translation for this is, a sincere student should not neglect the discussion of such conclusions, considering them controversial. For such discussions strengthen the mind, thus one's mind become attached to Sri Krishna. Saying, if a sincere student who want to progress in Krishna consciousness, he should not neglect the discussion of such conclusion. And how do we come to such conclusions? By reading books or by reading Shastras. How can a person discuss on some subject matter? Only when he has knowledge on that, right? And how do we get knowledge? We get knowledge by reading books. Some people, have this, I think it's a very controversial topic. But here, Mahaprabhu is telling it's very important for us to know Siddhanta. Why? Because such Siddhanta will help us to discuss or conclude or give the essence of all Vedas. And we, being in Prabhupada's mission of preaching Krishna consciousness, we should never hesitate to read Siddhanta. We should never hesitate to read books, so, considering them controversial or I cannot understand. But here, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling, what will happen if you read books? It will actually strengthen our mind. And then when one's mind is fully captivated by Krishna Katha, Krishna glories, Krishna Rama, Krishna Rupa, what happens? Our mind becomes attached to Krishna consciousness. So that is why it's very important for us to read Srila Prabhupada books. So if you see why in our mission reading is given more importance, what happens if you are reading Srila Prabhupada books? Okay, if we are all students, we were students and we are students now. Can anybody tell what is the importance of reading? Just any reading. It's not about Srila Prabhupada books, but what happens when somebody reads something? You can give your reflections or your thoughts, opinions. What will
Hare
happen?
Krishna. Will
The
gain
so-called,
knowledge, Mataji.
Gain knowledge.
yes,
Knowledge
yes,
gain.
yeah. Next, more important knowledge. What does knowledge should come to?
Can transform.
Yeah, good. Next. Hmm?
Guide us, Mataji.
Yes, they are good guides. Yes.
give realizations.
Yes, Mataji. Very important. Anything else? So these are the
Hare,
common things.
Hare
Yeah.
Krishna.
Yes, Mataji.
Mataji, when we read the books, na, the belief about the Krishna and about the God and creations
Yes,
will
you
get more and
develop
more
strong
belief,
faith and conviction.
strong faith and conviction.
Yes, yes, absolutely right, Mataji. These are all the points.
And also, Mataji, it will
One,
strengthen
we
our
will know
intelligence.
one life story, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. Yes, absolutely.
Mataji,
It's a
it gives
practical guide.
different perspectives and different dimensions.
Yes, very important. So all these points are there, what you said. So even by reading Srila Prabhupada books, we will develop almost, there are many, many things. But what will happen is first and foremost is spiritual growth. Why are we reading Shastra? We have so much material education. Any books which have information, when we learn, we get the knowledge and we will become informative. But what is specialty of Vedas or Shastras? They are not mundane. They do talk about material, they give you material information, but more important, they speak about spiritual growth. So, the first and foremost, why we are approaching Srila Prabhupada books, approaching Srila Prabhupada books is approaching Shastras, approaching Vedas, essence of Vedas. So, first and foremost thing, we are approaching Srila Prabhupada books for spiritual growth. Why? Because if you see, Srila Prabhupada's books provide very comprehensive understanding of Krishna consciousness, right? In all angles. And it will help you to grow spiritually. How many of you, by reading Srila Prabhupada books, it has very much inspired you to perform devotional service? Many of you, right?
Yes, Mataji.
We all read books to get inspired to perform devotional service. So the first and foremost reason why we have to read Srila Prabhupada books is for our spiritual growth. Second is deep understanding of scriptures. Srila Prabhupada books are very comprehensive and he offers detailed analysis of sacred text like Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. Not only that, in the purports, Prabhupada also quotes from different Puranas, Upanishads. So by reading Srila Prabhupada books, we we will know the analysis of this material world and about the spiritual world. Very important. Deep understanding of scriptures is what we get when we read Srila Prabhupada books. Why I'm specifically telling Srila Prabhupada books? Because Srila Prabhupada has very much easily translated it. He made it appetizing for us. If I, instead of Srila Prabhupada book, if I give you Vedas, will you all be happy to be reading it constantly and all the time?
No, Mataji.
No. That is why I'm saying Srila Prabhupada books, he has given what is a detailed analysis of Vedas in an appetizing way for us, especially Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. By reading this, we actually understand the entire Vedas. You may tell these are only two books, right? But these two books, one is the essence of Vedas, and the other one is guide book, and one is what? Srimad Bhagavatam speaks about the people who have followed Gita. Examples of person who are living Gita. Third, practical guidance. Now, Prabhupada books are like guides. How many of you agree?
Yes, Mataji.
Srila Prabhupada writings provide practical advices. Actually, his books speak. In fact, Srila Prabhupada, one of the quote is, I live in my books. They are the practical advices of how to apply spiritual principles on daily life. In our daily life, how to adapt these principles so that we can perform our Krishna conscious activities. They are like literally Prabhupada is speaking and guiding us through books. That is why also we should read his books. Next. Next is inspiration and motivation. His books inspire and motivate devotees to deepen their spiritual practice and serve the Lord. How many of you feel inspired when you read Srila Prabhupada books?
Yes, yes, Mataji.
And that inspiration should be into an action. There should be a motivation for you to act what you have read, what you got inspired of for. So that is why very important that his books should inspire, motivate us to deepen our spiritual practice and serve the Lord or be very active in Krishna consciousness. For that also we should read Srila Prabhupada books. Next, third, connection to spiritual master. I don't know, but if you have ever read other books than Srila Prabhupada, any shastric books, but you don't feel any connection to the author or to the parampara or to the person whom that book is referring. How many of you felt that devoid of reading such kind of books, devoid of this connection? But when you read Srila Prabhupada books, the first and foremost thing it does, it connects you to the spiritual master. Here, spiritual master is Srila Prabhupada, or the spiritual master represents a parampara system. It will develop a personal connection with him. And this is very important for our spiritual growth. Is it not right? If I give you some other book, okay, and I ask you to read, you will not actually develop any connection to the author, nor you will develop any connection to the person whom that book is referring to or the characters in that book. But by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, you're able to connect with him, you're able to connect with Parampara, and finally you're able to connect with Krishna. Is it not true?
Yes, yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
That's why very, very important connection to spiritual master and Parampara, and finally to Krishna. Next, developing faith and conviction. As one Mataji said, reading Srila Prabhupada books helps devotees to develop strong faith and conviction in spiritual process. These are vital and essential, right? These two things, faith and conviction. How many of you agree? I feel they are like the vital. Our body has some vitals. So spiritually, also there are some vitals which are required. Faith and conviction are like very vital and essential for spiritual progress. Why? What will happen? If you don't have faith, what can happen?
The relationship will not be strong, Mataji, if you don't have the faith in anything. Is a
Yes.
faith between the Lord and between us or the parampara or the Guru Dev. If we don't have the faith, we don't have the much joint relationship between us.
Yes. The process of bhakti starts with what?
Faith, Mataji.
Yeah.
Nishta.
Shraddha.
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 Very important. Very, very important, Shraddha. And how about conviction? The faith has to turn into conviction, right? I have faith, but I have no conviction. Actually, faith and conviction should go like parallel lines. What is conviction?
Firm faith, Mataji. Druda.
Conviction is what, Mataji, that we are running in a what
Mataji.
Hare
Is
Krishna.
it Nishtha?
Haribol. No Sanskrit. Yeah, no Sanskrit word. Just just a small meaning of it. What does it mean, conviction? Or a dictionary meaning, I'm asking. Simple dictionary meaning.
Belief or application?
Yeah. The faith needs application. The faith actually also has to transform into belief. That's a difference. Sometimes people have faith. Faith is different, belief is different. Is it not? I'll tell you what's the difference. I want to do some business. Okay. I don't know what it is, whether it's going to be successful, whether it may not be successful. but with small investment I do, not the money investment, but for some faith, I going to do that business, right? So their faith is required. But higher than faith is the belief. That faith, when it converts to belief, then it becomes conviction. You're all understanding what I'm saying? Firmly holding on to that belief or that opinion is called conviction. So developing in faith and conviction. Conviction in what? What are we talking here?
In believe in God and the words of our Guru. ka parampara.
Connection to the process of Krishna consciousness. Very important. To the process. And the last 2 points are very, very important. And that actually makes Srila Prabhupada books different from other books. What is it? Protection from misguidance. Srila Prabhupada books protects devotees from misguidance and misfortune, misinformation. And it ensures us to stay strong on this authentic part of Krishna consciousness. How many of you agree this?
Yes, Mataji. 100%.
Very, very, very much important. How many of books have actually misguided us? There are books which can actually misguide you, right? There are so many Gita books. Recently, I got to know, one Prabhuji read Gita from some other books, I'll not name. And then he came to Krishna consciousness. Before Krishna consciousness, he read Gita from some author. And he was very thirsty. After reading Gita, he actually called that author who has written Gita. And then he asked, Sir, I have read your Gita, I am finished. Now tell me what to do. And then that person was very clueless. He said, Krishna told so many yogas in that, na? Follow any one of the yoga. That is what I wanted to give people. There are many yogas, many paths, and you simply have to choose whichever is good for you. Is it not a misguidance? Right? Was that person really guiding the other person? No. It was complete misguidance and misinformation. But Prabhupada books actually protect us. They're the right guidance for us. They're good information which will take us back home, back to Godhead. And more important, they will actually help you to stay in path of Krishna consciousness. Never ever Prabhupada actually has given any information which will make us deflect away from the path of Krishna consciousness. Nothing. Very authentic. So these are the two main points. The next most important point, the eighth one, is understanding of absolute truth. How many of you, after reading Srila Prabhupada books, have understood about a personality called Krishna? Please, let's make it interactive.
Yes, Mataji. Brahmeti,
Yes,
Yes,
there are-
Mataji.
always Prabhupada quotes. Yeah.
Actually, the term absolute truth I came to know only after Prabhupada books.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, how many of you actually understood by after reading Srila Prabhupada books the nature of absolute truth? And what exactly is that absolute truth? Whether it is referring to a person and who that person is, you actually know about the person whom Prabhupada is also referring. How many? Okay, at least I'll ask a very dumb question. Anybody, if he has opened a Prabhupada book, any book, small, medium, large, I don't mind. If he opens any book or reads even for one page of Prabhupada books, he should understand somebody. Who is that?
Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead.
We hear about Supreme Personality of Godhead, but he will at least understand about Krishna, right?
Yes,
Hmm?
Mataji. Yes, yes.
Yes. So That is why Prabhupada books are different, because they reveal the nature of absolute truth. Not only that, what is absolute truth consist of?
Sachidananda Vigraha.
No.
Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavan
Yes.
Itishyate.
Yes. Impersonal, Paramatma feature localized, and Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. These three understandings of Krishna we actually learn from understand from Srila Prabhupada books. Why? Because if you don't understand the Lord and his energies and his activities, then it is waste, right? How many of you have actually, after reading Srila Prabhupada books, have enjoyed Krishna's activities? Not enjoyed, but who have relished Krishna's activities, his leelas, his pastimes, his guna, his rupa. How much importance Prabhupada has given to that? Prabhupada never ever has written like a thesis on impersonalism. Did he? Yeah, he might have written about impersonalism so that he can give you as the right knowledge or how to understand impersonalism. But
Sorry.
Prabhupada also repeatedly glorified Krishna's personal form too in the books.
Sorry, Mataji, ask one question. What are the Prabhupada's books, Mataji? I'm first time, I don't know
I will
about
tell
it.
you, Mataji, what Prabhupada books are there. So, but less I'm
Okay.
telling what is the difference between reading other books and reading Srila Prabhupada books?
माताजी जब हम दूसरों संप्रदाय के बुक्स रीड करते हैं ना तो दे डोंट स्टैंड कृष्णा दे मतलब कृष्णा को वो लोग एब्सोल्यूट ट्रूथ नहीं बताते हैं वो लोग परमात्मा अलग अलग फॉर्म मतलब जब
Yeah.
रियलिटी जो रहती है एब्सोल्यूट ट्रूथ की वी डोंट रिफ्लेक्ट ऑन द पार्ट अदर मीन सेड इज ब्रह्मा इज अ कृष्णा ब्रह्मन
Yeah, Brahman. But you know what? The greatness of Srila Prabhupada books, once you read Srila Prabhupada books, or once you are in the process of Krishna consciousness, it is by the mercy of Prabhupada that even if you read the so-called books, you will able to understand them in a proper way, in a correct way, the way it has to be understood. Actually, that is the greatness of Prabhupada. We should all be grateful for Prabhupada for giving us a proper intelligence out of his books to understand what is right and what is wrong. Right? So, what is knowledge? What does knowledge mean?
माताजी knowledge means understanding of something.
Okay. Okay. And knowledge is, yes, understanding what is right can be knowledge. Right?
Yes.
But our Shastras tell what is not right is also knowledge. So, the complete knowledge consists of two parts: what is right and what is also not right, what is truth, what is not truth. All these things, if you understand what is to be done, what is not to be done, if you understand these two things, it's called knowledge. And that knowledge will help you to come out of this ignorance. But what's the point if you only know what is good? Or what's the point if you only know what is not good? If I know what is not good, I will not appreciate what is good, right? I will only be trying not to do. I'll only be focusing on don'ts. That will not help me. What I should focus on? I should focus on do's, or doing good things, or doing correct things. But proper knowledge comes when you understand what is right, what is wrong. That Srila Prabhupada has given to us. That is why, with this intelligence, when we read any other books, by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, we are able to decipher those books and we can understand what it means, what he is meaning. Okay? That we should appreciate of being in Krishna consciousness. What happens when you are in parampara? How you when you have access to the correct knowledge in parampara systems? How it will help us? Okay. So these are some of the points which I got about importance of reading Srila Prabhupada books, what it can do to us. Now let's go to something practical. Okay. We see so many challenges. It's a very short session. Okay. So many challenges in reading Srila Prabhupada books. How many of you have so many challenges in reading Srila Prabhupada books? Hmm? You can all speak. I think there's nothing called mute. You can unmute and then speak.
Mataji. Repeat.
Hmm? So, what are the challenges? Can any one of you tell your challenge?
Consistently reading, Mataji.
Yes, yes. Some reading. Reading, but some reading. Yeah. Next.
Lack of association, Mataji.
Oh,
Association of
yeah. That is like the prime. Yeah. Association. Next.
Lack of time, so we think.
Yeah. That's something which we need to ask ourselves. Next. Determination. Yes. Very right. Okay. Several challenges which I thought, okay, or which our books also, our acharyas also tell, is not giving importance to reading. You know, that's the first and foremost difficulty or the challenge we have. Anything, any work or any activity, any devotional service which we take, which we want to do, the first and foremost is not giving importance to it. If you understand the importance of that, there will be no challenge. How many of you agree with it?
yes,
That's
Mataji.
the first and foremost. Okay. Not giving importance to reading, it's the first and the foremost challenge in our this thing. Why we don't give importance to reading?
We don't know the importance of reading, Mataji.
Yeah, but if you say reading is one, you have to take books. In the age of smartphones, everything viral, everything, on net. We just want something easy. But you know what? How difficult is it? We have to get the book. We have to sit in a place, proper place. We should give proper. What do you say? You can't offend because reading the pure scriptures. You have to sit down and you have to tell your mind, please focus. Very difficult, right? We think like that. It's very easy. Just turn on some audio and hear. It will be going. I'm not saying I'm not undermining hearing, please. Okay, I'm not going to undermine hearing.
But this
It
is a
is
real
also good.
challenge, Mataji.
Hmm?
This is a real challenge, new
Yeah,
challenge. We
it's
find
a
it
new
so easy
challenge.
to listen to lectures, but not
Yeah,
pick up. I mean, I happening with me also.
yeah,
Like while cooking or something, we can hear lectures, but sitting down with a book,
yeah.
rarely do. Yeah.
But it has to be a part of our sadhana, Mataji.
Yes.
Swadhyaya requires sadhana is your chanting and your activity, but Swadhyaya is self study. Swadhyaya is very important for us to progress in Krishna consciousness. The three S. Swadhyaya means self study. How do you do self study? Sit down, hold books. When you hold physical book, you will actually be able to connect with it. First, understand what that book is. If you see those books, you have to see the sweat and blood of Srila Prabhupada in it. Right? Was Srila Prabhupada very young to write all these books? Later, I will read some quotes of Srila Prabhupada which will inspire us to read books. But right now, I'm asking you. Hmm? When you see those books, Srila Prabhupada sometimes told, everybody, all his disciples were very curious and they were like, Prabhupada, you only wrote books, right? Why do you open your books and read? You see sometimes videos of Srila Prabhupada, while giving Bhagavatam class, there will be a disciple, he will open the book and he will recite the shloka and the purport. Shloka I can understand. Purport is what Prabhupada has written, right? With his hand and with his intelligence. He can simply quote that. But why is he reading? Because Srila Prabhupada himself said, I did not write this. It is Krishna who wrote. These are nothing but their book Bhagavatas. It's Bhagavatam. It's non different from Krishna. Actually, You are, by reading the books, you are performing devotional activities. You are doing tapasya. You are doing a yajna by offering yourself unto the fire of the text. So very important that you have to give importance to reading. At least half an hour, 20 minutes. Hold that book. Why? It's a gratitude. When you go to Ganges, what do you offer? You simply offer the simple water back to it, a palm full of water back to Ganges out of gratitude. For Prabhupada, what we should do? Hold the books, sit for 5 minutes, and read that. That is what offering you can give to the great personality, Srila Prabhupada. You all agree? 10
Yes,
minutes. Yeah, we have so much.
Mataji.
You
Yes,
can
Mataji.
simply at least 10 minutes, 5 minutes as an offering to Srila Prabhupada. Hold those books and read at least one shloka. Okay. What are other challenges? Some of them may say, some words are very difficult to understand. Yes, language can be a barrier. But what is more important than language? What you should have, that enthusiasm to read the books.
Eagerness and enthusiasm to read,
Enthusiasm and
Mataji.
eagerness to read the books will actually make you very easy. There's one story, right? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu seeing one person in South India. He would simply see the book of, he would every day come and recite Gita. He doesn't know anything. He is a very illiterate. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw him. Every day he's coming and he is opening the book and he is trying to read. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes to him and he says, in South India Yatra, he sees and he says, I got to know that you are a very illiterate. You don't know how to read. But what are you reading? You know what? He simply, out of humility, he says that this is the instruction of my spiritual master. My spiritual master asked me to read Gita. Okay, I understand. But what is the effect of that? You know what? He actually understood the essence of the Vedas. And Mahaprabhu asked, then why are you crying? Yes, your spiritual master asked you, but why are you crying? You know what he says? I'm actually crying because I'm seeing how Krishna has become a charioteer of Arjuna. And I'm able to see how Krishna is Bhakta Vatsala. What Krishna can do to his devotees. You know what? He actually understood the essence of entire Vedas. He actually understood what Krishna's quality of being a Bhakta Vatsala. Now you tell me, what are the two things he did? What is the first thing he did? He simply accepted the
Followed
instruction
the
of the
instruction
spiritual
of the
master.
spiritual master.
How many times in our Krishna conscious process, Prabhupada emphasized on reading his books? Not only reading his books, he has to print books and also distribute books. So is it not important? When you follow such a kind of instruction, then where is the difficulty to understand? Where will the words, language come into picture? No, right? Yes, some words are difficult to understand, but please understand that Srila Prabhupada books are there in multilingual languages. You want Urdu, you will get. You want Russian, you will get. Any book of your native language, you can get Srila Prabhupada books. You can read. So words are not difficulty. Language is not a barrier. You can get Srila Prabhupada books and read in whichever language you want. Okay. Next. Not possible if sadhana is pending. How many of you agree? When your sadhana is not good, there is no motivation for you to read or perform any devotional activity. Here, please understand, reading is not an activity. Reading is a devotional seva. Are you all understanding? Here, I'm giving importance to reading books as a devotional seva, not any random mundane work. No, it's not a work. It's a devotional seva. So when your sadhana is not good, when your sadhana is pending, All through the day, you are doing your sadhana. Where will you get time to do other activities of hearing and reading? Not possible, right? How many of you agree?
Yes, Mataji.
So these are some challenges which our senior devotees have found in our movement, and I'm reading those.
Shouldn't reading be part of sadhana only, Mataji?
Yes, reading is a part of sadhana. It's a devotional activity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next, no desire to read them repeatedly. And this is for me only. Now I can very proudly proclaim that I have read Srimad Bhagavatam. But what's the point? Anybody can read Srimad Bhagavatam. What is the difference? That we should have desire to read them repeatedly. Right? It's not that you have eaten gulab jamun and then again you don't want to eat. Repeatedly we eat gulab jamuns, no?
Yes.
Similarly, in Krishna consciousness, we should repeatedly read Prabhupada books. Next, lack of devotion. Anybody wants to give purport for this? Lack of devotion? Your reflections. Is this the correct point? Is it a challenge? Lack of devotion? Why can't we make this session very interactive? It's just like a monologue. I am the only one who's speaking. All of you can unmute.
Yes, Mataji. Because I think they are so widely available, we take them for granted. We take them as a very casual book.
Yeah. How many of you consider these books as personification of Krishna? I've already told what does Nectar of Devotion says. Nectar of Devotion says, even if somebody keeps literatures at home, offer obeisances, he's freed from sins and he's worshipable by demigods. Why do you think that this privilege is given to us? It's not because of us. It is about the literature. Why? Because it is not different from Krishna. Very important that we should see all the activities in Krishna consciousness should go parallelly. They're all like parallel lines which will take us back home, back to Godhead. Of all the Navavidhi bhaktis, you can't tell that this is great, this is not great. Yes, depending upon time, place, circumstances, one may be suitable for some time. Just like in Kali Yuga, we have this Harinam Sankirtan, which is easily be done. We give more importance to hearing and chanting, right? That doesn't mean all other processes don't work. It does work, and they all have to go parallelly. If a person is doing reading good, he is chanting well, he also reads well, he also hears well, he can also do deity service well. So all of these things should go in parallel lines. So lack of devotion is also the greatest challenge and hurdle for us to read Srila Prabhupada books. So what we should do to develop our devotion? Anybody?
To read the Prabhupada books and the chanting is a one most more important feature, I think so much.
But I don't have devotion, so I don't feel like reading. That's a challenge, right?
Yes, Mataji.
Simple question is lack of devotion. How can we remove it? It's an hurdle. Simple. You have to stay in the association.
Association, yes, Mataji.
You have to stay in association who have devotion so that they can give you devotion. Please stay in devotion. Perform your Krishna consciousness in association. Very important. We should practice Krishna consciousness as a community activity. Please, everybody, write it in red pen. Very important association is. So we should always do such kind of activity in association. No compulsion on reading books. Right? Is there any compulsion on reading books?
No, Mataji.
No, Mataji.
But actually, we all should feel that we should have compulsion on reading. That should be your thought. It is compulsory for me to read books.
The sadhana chart that the temple gives has
Yes,
reading.
it
So it
has
is
reading books.
compulsory.
I know.
It's
I know.
compulsory.
Yeah. But but I'm telling you the mood in which we have to be in Krishna consciousness. You should feel that it's compulsory for me to do this activity.
Yes, yes.
And more important is why we don't try to read books is repetition of concepts. How many of you felt by reading Srila Prabhupada books, it is very repetitive of concepts?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes.
Is it good or is it bad or is it boring?
Good,
These two
Mataji.
terms.
Good
It
only.
is good, Mataji.
Why?
Necessary.
Why?
Always
Why?
necessary.
Because
Repetitive.
constant remembrance will make us
More,
The
it is
feature of Kali Yuga is
necessary.
Mandabuddhi. Bhagavatam
Yeah.
itself tells. So we should be constantly, repeatedly being told. Already we are in Maya. Okay. So if we are not told about it repetitively, what will happen?
Chances of a fall down is much higher, Mataji.
The chances of fall down is higher. More important is again to be in illusion or more, even more.
Yes, yes.
Yes. So that is why Prabhupada constantly is telling you are not this body, you are the spirit soul. You have been covered by ignorance. Why? In spite of so many repetitive concepts, still I struggle to think whether I am a body or the soul. Not
Yes.
even once in a day I consider myself to be not this body.
Yes, yes, very true, Mataji.
Hmm? So very, very important for us, especially in Kali Yuga, that we need to have concepts to be repeated. So don't think that repetition of concept makes it boring. Actually, those things are not repetitions. If you see how Prabhupada gives different angles of the nature of this material world, different levels of understanding this nature of this material world or absolute truth, right? In different levels, we have to understand. So when Prabhupada is telling, there is something different. And please understand, reading Shastra is not repetitive. It is always fresh and new. And that is why do you think pure devotees are very eager to over and over? They want to speak about Krishna Katha, the same Krishna Katha, Damodar Leela. They are able to read, they are able to recite, and they are able to speak on that. Why? Is it not repetitive? But what is that they are tasting? But by repeatedly reading those concepts, they are actually relishing. It's like the sweet nectar.
Yeah.
The degree of sweetness increases proportionately to the reading. How many of you agree this? That is why great devotees, why do they relish Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita? It's not that they don't know. They know. They don't know the concept. They do know, but they are relishing Bhagavatam. So who are we to consider that repetition of concepts? That is why it is boring. What is the solution for us to come out of this? Is we have to again read. Not getting taste for japa, what is the solution? Chant more japa,
Chant more.
right? Similarly, not getting taste for reading, what is the solution?
Should read more.
You should read more. Now, so these are several challenges. Any more challenges anybody face and maybe you can add?
Mataji, we take it for granted and we are too laid down, Mataji. Our attitude is very casual that anyhow we can listen to the lecture or anything. So we don't take that as a serious part of our sadhana.
Yeah, because it needs inspiration, Mataji. Later at the end, I will try to speak about how important is this reading and what it means to Srila Prabhupada reading. Okay.
One more thing is Mataji, lack of interest, Mataji.
Yes, lack of interest. It will come when you stay with people who have interest in it. It's association. Anything else? Anybody? Any Matajis?
It's difficult to understand and sometimes slokas, Mataji, difficult to understand the slokas.
That's okay. By the mercy of Prabhupada Mataji, we have translation, we have purports which will tell you how to understand the correct way of understanding.
Yeah, reading
All
also.
this should not be a barriers or challenges for you. You simply have to read. See, sometimes we always focus on our ability, but we are forgetting the greatness of Krishna Katha, the power of that Krishna Katha, and power of Bhagavatam. How many of you agree? We are all focusing on what? I am focusing that I am not able to do, I am not able to relish, I am not able to do this. We are telling that, but by simply just by following and reading, what happens? Let Bhagavatam work on you. You don't work on Bhagavatam. Very important. Do not work on your ability. All you need to do is you need to do the needful and let that Bhagavatam, which is transcendental, let that Krishna Katha work on you.
You also
Because,
have to be sorry, Mats.
yeah, Mataji, go ahead, Mataji. No.
No, go ahead, Mats.
I'm saying we always, focus on us only. But you know what? Or anything to do in spiritual, when it comes to spiritual process, you should not focus on your ability. All you need to do is simply follow what needs to be followed and let that process work on you. How it will work, that Krishna will take care. I am reading books because Srila Prabhupada told. I am reading books because it's a very pleasing activity to Srila Prabhupada. And if Srila Prabhupada wants us to read books, we will read books. Why? Because that will make Krishna happy. Why we are following Srila Prabhupada's desire? Simple. No need to use your brains and intelligence. My spiritual master told to read books. If in our sadhana, in the process of devotional service, let let me do. Let Krishna Vakata work on me. How it will change, we don't know. Just go back and remember how you were 5 years back, 3 years back. If you tell, I'll tell you, 5 years back also I am like that, but now I am changed. What? Don't think that my japa is great. 5 years back how I chanted, now also I chant. But me not chanting also, even jokingly, you know, even jokingly, not taking it seriously, somehow I'm in the process. But that process actually is working on us. Everybody go back and just think how you were 3 years back, 2 years back, 6 months back, 3 months back. Who is working? Unknowingly only. Even though we are not giving importance to that, somehow we are doing a sadhana, and that sadhana itself is working on us. Then what about we seriously performing our sadhana with all regulatives, with giving utmost importance? But what will that sadhana do to us? So here we should not focus on our ability, just to follow the process, read the books, let Bhagavatam work on us. Okay? Yeah. Next, tips to improve reading. Karanat Kumaji, you were saying something.
Yeah, no, the same thing I was going to say. Just like, you have to let the Nama reveal to you. We have to pray Srila Prabhupada and Guru Parampara for the Shastra to reveal to us. Otherwise, it will just be a bunch of words.
Yes.
And also, I think somewhere in the obstacles, we have some envy. So just like Bhagavatam says, Nirmatsaranam Satam. So we should be non-envious to absorb the Shastra.
Yeah. Next, thank you, Matsi. Okay, tips to improve reading. How many of you want this?
Yes,
Yes,
Mataji.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's do something practical which will help. This is also something which our senior devotees have given us so that we can improve. Now, let's say, so if you're doing self study, 3 levels of self studies are there. First one is reading. So, 80% of your total time we should read. That means if you put 100% time, 80% reading should be given 80% importance. Next is, after reading, what we should do? We should meditate 15% of total time. Means if you are keeping half an hour for reading, say that 20 minutes I'm going to I'll read for 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, I'll close the book. The next step I do is, the next 5 minutes, I will meditate on what I read. And the third one is application of it. Very important. You should sit down, think, and say, how can I apply this? That can be another 5%. So you should be doing reading, you should also meditate, and how to apply also we should think. It's not just, okay, I'm done reading. What is our point? You should meditate, you should assimilate the knowledge, should meditate on the knowledge, and also understand how I can apply. So
In the
tips.
meditation, we have to remember what are we read, Mataji. Is it
Yeah,
like
meditation ante, yeah, whatever we read, whatever.
we will repeat again in our mind?
Yeah, if it is, if that shloka is talking about the beautiful features of Krishna, Rajendra Nandan, or anything which is talking about Krishna's Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela, we should sit and meditate. Why? When the mind is focused, or when mind meditates on Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela, what happens? It calms our mind. It frees our mind from anxiety. And our mind becomes calm. It will actually strengthen our mind to focus on spirituality. So meditation is very important after reading, and more after that, after meditating, what you should do? You'd say, oh, then let me apply this in my life. If any instruction is given, any some instructions which are favorable for our Krishna consciousness, let me apply. If there are any instructions which we should not do, which will delay our process of Krishna consciousness or becomes hurdle in our process of Krishna consciousness, we should also not do those things. Very important. Application. So some tips to improve reading. Always start with simple books. Okay. How many of you agree? Okay. Because most of you are practicing devotees, but if you somebody who is just starting the process of Krishna consciousness, or if you are recommending somebody to read Srila Prabhupada or giving some gifts to others, about Srila Prabhupada books, always start with simple books. Okay. And then how do we try to improve our reading? Set aside a dedicated time. Please write. How do we set aside a dedicated time with our busy life? All we can do is, you can put reminders, alarms for readings. Most of them have their meeting alarms and all. No? Like that, put a reminder in yourself that I have to read, reading alarms. Or if you are not tech savvy, put a post-it sticker on your walls that you have to do reading wherever you can see them, or something, or the place which can remind you of you to read, or ask some devotees to remind you. We can very well stay in association of devotees who inspire you to read, or who will remind you to read. Okay. So next, do reading as the first thing in the morning. Just like, first thing in the important activity is done first thing in the morning, right? Like, most of them do japa. If you have time, see, it's not compulsion. Please understand, you're all grihasthas. See what is feasible time. What here it means is, first thing in the morning is the importance. First thing in the morning is something which is very important, you do that thing. Here, what it means is, you have to do it as an important activity. Okay. Are you all getting what I'm saying?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, yes, Mataji.
Do group reading.
Hmm?
Group reading, very important. Make Bhagavatam circles and do it as a group reading, group activity. It will help you. If we don't have enthusiasm or eagerness, some devotees will give you that. Some devotees will remind you. Okay, and be punctual to those reading schedules. It is said, somebody told me, in US we had one Bhakti Vriksha, where that Prabhuji was very vexed up because people are not coming on time. Then you know what he did? He started imposing token fines. If you come late 5 minutes, put $5. If you come 10 minutes, $10. You know how much $5 and $10 then were? It is now also, but so people would come exactly. Means if you're half an hour delayed, how much you have to pay? 30 minutes is $30. $30 is a big expensive money. So what we should do? We should also actually impose. Actually, I thought this is the best thing we can add. Impose token fines. If you're sleepy, wash your face and read. Okay. Or if you have no enthusiasm, put some energetic kirtans, some nice soothing kirtans, energetic kirtans, which will help you to energize to do any devotional activity. Try to see where you are spending more time, waste of time in some mundane activities which are absolutely not necessary. Figure out where you're wasting your time. Decrease that. And that time, what you have decreased in the mundane activity, assign that for reading Srila Prabhupada books. And not just reading books, but you also have to make notes. When you make notes, it it registers double time. You're reading and then you're writing. That means it's another exercise for your brain. You are making brain to focus 2 times. Always make notes. Underline. If you don't find books, underline in Srimad Bhagavatam. My Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj said, somebody asked, these books, Gita and Bhagavatam, they are, personified form of Krishna. They are Krishna himself, non different from Krishna. But how can we write? Somebody highlights, somebody writes there only near all those. Is it not an insult? Is it not an offense? You know what His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj said? No. If you are considering Bhagavatam or Gita or any Shastra as Krishna, and you are writing it, you are taking those notes in a very devotional way, you are writing it. It is like decorating the deity of Krishna. In the morning, we all decorate, right, with gopi dots and all those things, jewelry, flowers. So it's okay for you to write on the books. If you don't want some point you want to write, it's okay to write on the books. You're all understanding what I said?
Yes, Mataji. I
Okay.
had this doubt, but now it's clarified. Yeah.
Makes notes. That is what
Yes. Yes.
Maharaj said. Okay. Next, use margins to dot down additional information. Write something. Use colored pens, highlighters, sticky notes to something which will make you interesting, like a project. How many of you enjoyed projects in your school and colleges? Homework we never enjoyed, but some teacher gave us some project. We were so excited to do. Why?
Because we use all the pens and all the highlighters.
Something
Will
which
show
will make
our
it interesting.
creativity.
Creativity.
Creativity. Yes, something which is different, not monotonous. Make our Krishna consciousness life. See, actually, rhythm is very good in spirituality. We should have consistency and rhythm in our spirituality. Same constant rhythm. But unfortunately, we are in Kali Yuga. We feel monotonous. Oh, it's same thing daily. So what we should do? We should make it interesting. Interesting means not what do you say, compromising on the philosophy or tattva or the process. But I'm telling you, make it interesting according to time, place, circumstances. Okay. Use some colored highlight. Draw some charts. If you are a very smart, make chart. Write about that. Take a book. And if recently, Deepa Mataji from our group, she was reading about. She wrote about the entire material creation, how Jiva fall off, all those things like in a very nice flow chart. There's nothing wrong. It's a good concept. If somebody is speaking about the different material elements, write down. Take a book and write down different 9 processes of bhakti. If you have read it in the book, take a book and write 9 processes of bhakti. These are highlighters which will help us to progress. I don't know if I have, but I'll post it. It's a very nice, beautiful article I got once. Fundamentals. I just saw in one of the Prabhujis, he only writes about fundamentals. If he finds it very interesting in the book, I started doing that. If you see my book also, it is like that. There are anarthas or obstacles to devotions, and you have read it in Bhagavatam. take that and write. And if there are 10 offenses, take that and write it in a book. So thereby you will have some philosophy in a handy notes for people who are preaching. They can use these things for their preaching purposes. And more important also, it is like reminder. Someday you are just sitting idly. You can just take this your own book and your own pages of what you have written, and you can read. Is it not
It's like
something that's a good
journaling,
idea?
Mataji.
Like a journal, yeah. How many of you felt this is a very nice thing?
Yes,
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 Mataji.
Do that. It's like a project work. Okay. And more important also, hear to the seniors lecture. Once you are reading also, hear to the senior lectures, devotees, senior devotees or Maharajas who have really given lectures on that. Why? It will deepen our understanding. Take notes, reflect, note important points, and more important is how I can apply this in my life. If all this thing is not leading to this application part, then it's total waste of time. It is only like entertainment for your brain. It's called spiritual what do you call, entertainment for your mind. If all these things is not allowing you to apply in your life, it is nothing but entertainment for your mind. Jnana, we don't want to become gyanis, we want to become bhaktas. Okay, you're all
Mataji,
understanding what I'm saying, the flow?
Mataji,
Yes, Mataji.
yeah, playing in life means శ్లోక చదువుతాం అవి చదువుతాం కదా
కాదు
మాతాజీ.
మాతాజీ, దాని అర్థం ఉంటుంది కదా,
ఆ,
దాని అర్థాన్ని మన లైఫ్లో ఎట్లా అప్లై చేసుకోవాలి, ఆ ఫిలాసఫీని మనం ఎట్లా అప్లై చేసుకోవాలి, ఆ సిచ్యువేషన్ మనకు లైఫ్లో వస్తే ఆ చదివిన శాస్త్రిక్ నాలెడ్జ్ తోటి మనం ఎట్లా అప్లై చేయాలి, దాని నుంచి ఎలా బయటికి రావాలి అనేది.
ఓకే ఓకే మాతాజీ.
Yeah. So yeah, this is what I wanted to tell. Now let me tell you something very important. You know, yeah, this is something which anybody can do. You know, we can tell, but most important thing as practicing devotees, as a followers of Srila Prabhupada, we should have gratitude towards Srila Prabhupada. Okay, very very important. And how do we show this gratitude to Srila Prabhupada? Anybody? How much can anybody quote how much Srila Prabhupada gave importance to reading? Any quotes if anybody knows?
Books are the
Books are
basis.
the basis.
Yeah. Next.
Living. I am living in the books, he told.
Yes. Next.
I live forever in my books. Yeah.
Yeah. Next. Hmm?
ABCD.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else?
When you have money, read the books.
I'll tell you. Very important why we should read Srila Prabhupada books. Okay. These are the quotes which Prabhupada, if you have, how many of you have seen videos of Srila Prabhupada on his deathbed writing books for us? Or, dictating in dictaphone
Yes.
so that those can be converted into books. How many of you seen?
Canto
Yes.
he.
What
Yes,
did you
ma'am.
feel after seeing that?
Yeah, it's true.
How did you,
Gave
how have anybody has thought, how can you repay back that man? Hmm?
No, Mataji. We cannot repay
I'll tell
and
you,
and
Prabhupada wrote this. Srila Prabhupada letter March 14th, 1975. That means when Prabhupada was almost on the last years. He said what? In a deep voice, he said, please hear everybody. This is more important. Leave about the first one, you may get anywhere. Okay. But why we should read Srila Prabhupada and how can we be uh, grateful to Srila Prabhupada for what he has given us? Okay. Let's take this part of this session very seriously. Why? Because this will actually inspire you to read Srila Prabhupada books. I'll read few quotes. Please hear, Mataji's. Thank you for reading my books and appreciating them. Please continue to do so. That will help you advance nicely in spiritual life. By reading my books and chanting Hare Krishna, your life will become very perfect. This is Srila Prabhupada with folded hands. Srila Prabhupada said, Sometimes I become surprised how I have written this. Although I am the writer, still sometimes I'm surprised how these things have come. Such vivid descriptions. Where such literature throughout the whole world? Where is such literature throughout the whole world? It is all Krishna's mercy. And this, Prabhupada almost, he's saying, although I am practically on the path of death, still I cannot forget about my publication. I wish that if I live or die, you should take very serious care of my publication. And Prabhupada, almost March 19th, 1975, he says, I am so very much grateful that you have enjoyed studying my books. Many young, intelligent persons, such as yourself, are studying these books in the colleges, universities all over the world. Actually, anyone who tries to understand these books will become a great realized devotee of Lord Krishna gradually. The original potency of Shastra remains in these books because I have not added or opinionated anything on my own. Please quote unquote, again I'll read. The original potency of Shastra remains in these books because I have not added or opinionated anything on my own. I have simply presented the scriptures such as Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam as they are. Therefore, just see the effect they have on the world. At present, we have about 100 centers worldwide and about 10,000 fully dedicated students in those centers. Okay. So Prabhupada also said that you may please me by reading my books and following the instructions therein and become fully Krishna consciousness. And Prabhupada, as a missionary spirit, he told that all the students who are there in path of Krishna consciousness should be very conversant with philosophy of Krishna consciousness. Why? We should defend ourselves, right? If somebody comes for a debate or discussion, we should be able to defend our process. If you can't defend what you're doing, then what's the point of doing it? So that is why Prabhupada said at least read for 1 to 2 hours, understand the subject matter in varieties of angle. That is why you think that Prabhupada is repeating. No, Prabhupada is not repeating, but he is actually putting that matter in variety of angles. It's not repetition. It is our mind which is telling us because we don't know. We don't give importance to that. And you should read every day without fail. Why? Because it will make us fixed in our Krishna conscious process. You know what Prabhupada said? If you don't understand, simply read it again and again and again. And finally, Prabhupada's final and simple quote for everybody. He said, by reading my books and chanting Hare Krishna mantra, your life becomes perfect. So thank you so much. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo ananta koti vaishnavrind ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Any comments, questions, any senior Matajis from this group, please add. Okay, I have not realized any of these things, but in speaking, I'm begging that you all shower your mercy so that I will be able to realize, meditate, and apply on all these things. Yeah, thank you so much. Any questions, comments? Any
Thank you so
addition?
much, Mataji. Thank you so much. Really, really inspiring. I hope this will set the mood for everybody to read. And just one practical thing for me. I was not able to read, books individually. So what we did is morning Japa conference. We are reading 15 minutes every day.
Yeah.
And that in association. So it's really been very, very effective, Maj. I think we finished like 5-6 books just on Japa. So within Saki Sangha, there are so many of us. So according to, you can all make small circles and read at a convenient time, like have this also we've been thinking, have like, 2-3 sessions during the day and whoever has time. I know some of them are doing already, but I think we can use this forum to increase such
Yes.
activity.
Yes.
That will be very nice,
So
Mataji.
most
As
of
a people like
Matsis
this.
have their Bhagavatam circles. You
Yeah.
all can publish in the Saki Sangha group, and anybody whoever wants can
Anybody
join.
can join. Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
I forgot. Some of them have this question: how to read? There are so many books of Prabhupada. So, what is the suggested order or the scheme of reading Srila Prabhupada books? So, first category one, you have all the small books of Srila Prabhupada, On the Way to Krishna, Beyond Birth and Death, Perfect Questions. All the small books you all know, right? Hmm? You have to read that first. And then second category is that once you finish all the small books, you should read something like Introduction to Bhagavad Gita, Science of Self-Realization, Nectar of Devotion, Life Comes After Life, little on the higher philosophy, the next level of philosophy. All those books. And next, and in between Ishopanishad, or sometimes there are books which speak talk about Gita slokas here and there, or some concept of Gita which is there that you can read. And final category of books which we need to read eventually after finishing this, because it's a very systematic way of understanding philosophy. Or if you are recommending somebody or you are preaching, use this format of giving books to them, reading habit. Next is Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Nectar of Devotion, and Chaitanya Charitamrita. Others, Prabhupada said optional for you to read, but Prabhupada expected us to read like this so that we will have a very systematic study. Okay.
Mataji, you are given very valuable information, Mataji. Really.
Thank you, Mataji. I'll connect with you later, Mataji. Kalpana Mataji.
Sure, Mataji.
Thank you. Any questions, comments, please?
Hare Krishna Mataji. Sometimes so many classes we are hearing, living in the Dham and all. Sometimes we missed the reading Mataji.
Why,
What to do?
Mataji? In Dham, you'll have more potency. Whatever activity do, it
No
multiplies.
Mataji,
Of
continuous
hearing.
class and tiredness.
Oh, if you're in a yatra,
Coming and
listen.
sitting.
Or if you're on some, I know we should all appreciate Mataji. She's doing Navdeep Mandal Parikrama.
No
Mataji,
Mataji.
Very
my
good.
Continuous
obeisance is to
riding,
your
but
lotus feet. My obeisance is to your lotus feet. Actually,
thank you.
Mataji is like, what do you call? Walking Dham.
Sometimes I missed what to do. I am asking
Right.
you.
No problem, Mataji. And see, everything you
Uh,
should at least 5 minutes.
yeah,
If you have any book, they always whenever you're going to yatras, please carry any book. So
yeah,
it
yeah.
doesn't have to be
But
Bhagavatam.
one sloka, at least.
But you heard, Mataji, you heard others read Srila Prabhupada books. That's also
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Hearing,
yeah.
hearing
Hearing
is,
is also good, but
yeah,
but at a place where you can hold
that time.
physical book and do read, that is also good.
Yeah, yeah.
No problem, Mataji.
Mataji,
Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. I do see that there is a one group called a community group called ICF,
ICF. Yeah.
Inner Circle.
The inner
So with
conscious.
that, I was able to read so many Prabhupada books, Mataji.
They actually
Because
post.
it is
They actually post Prabhupada books in pages, right, for reading.
correct. And
Mm.
in fact, I was involved in that. I was involved in that, like, preparing the PDFs, Mataji. It is really good. Only some 10 pages, small 10 pages. It takes about only 15-20 minutes. And every day it comes. Today, now the Chaitanya Bhagavata is coming.
Yeah. But it
So,
post
like,
that in Saki Sangha. And Mataji, you have Prabhupada so many small books. Just take
small,
one
yeah,
book,
yeah,
pick one book and go. Go
yes.
to Dham. If you have time, you just open any book of Prabhupada. It is as informative and as purifying it can be.
And Mataji, whoever are doing reading circles, please post it on Saki Sangha, no? For anybody, that has
Yeah,
time in
I
that.
actually do it on 12 to 1. 12 to 1
Post
every
it
day.
for
Now
me.
I
Yeah,
just
we are
started my second
doing
canto again.
2 to
Second,
4
finished
Mataji.
first
We are
canto.
also doing 2
Yeah,
to
yeah.
4.
Please post it. Anybody can join.
Everybody post it. Anybody who has time slot in that time, they'll join.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything else? Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you. Please bless me.
Thank
Mataji,
you.
thank you
Thank you
for
so much,
inspiring.
Mataji.